Hi, you guys. Welcome to Kids on the Rock. I'm Pastor Ryan, and this is Miss Megan. We're going to read you today's story. If you haven't grabbed your Bible, your Jesus Storybook Bible, go ahead and grab it right now. If you've already started the video and you're thinking, oh, I gotta go get my Bible, pause it and come right back, and then we'll get started really soon. Depending on how long before you push play again, and then we'll get started. You guys ready? Okay, we're going to be reading the story, A Giant Staircase to Heaven. This is the story of the Tower of Babel, taking place in Genesis chapter 11. So turn to page 48. It's going to look like this, and that's where we're going to be. And it's also going to be on the screen. So I'm going to have Miss Megan read it, and then I'm going to do the voices.
A Giant Staircase to Heaven. The Tower of Babel from Genesis 11. Noah and his family lived in the land, and his children had children, and those children had more children, and then those children had even more, well, you get the picture, until there were lots of people on the earth once more. Now back then, everyone spoke exactly the same language, so you didn't need to learn Swahili or Japanese or anything because you could say,
hello,
to anyone, and they knew what you meant. One day, everyone was talking, and they came up with an idea.
Let's build ourselves a beautiful city to live in. It can be our home, and we'll be safe forever and ever.
Then they had another idea.
And let's build a really tall tower to reach up into heaven. Yes,
They said,
we'll say, look at us up here, and everyone will look up at us, and we'll look down on them, and then we'll know we are something. We'll be like God. We'll be famous and safe and happy, and everything will be all right.
So they got to work. Brick by brick, the tower grew higher and higher until it soared above the city, touching the sky. They built stairs in the tower to climb to the top. It was like a giant staircase to heaven.
Look,
They cheered.
we're the ones. See what we can do with our very own hands.
They were quite pleased with themselves. But God wasn't pleased with them. God could see what they were doing. They were trying to live without Him, but God knew that wouldn't make them happy or safe or anything. If they kept on like this, they would only destroy themselves, and God loved them too much to let that happen. So He stopped their plans. One morning they went to work as usual, but everything was different. Their words were all new and funny. You see, God had given each person a completely different language. Suddenly, no one understood what anyone else was saying. Someone would say,
How do you do?
and the other person thought they said,
How ugly are you?
it wasn't funny. You could be saying something nice like,
Such a lovely morning.
and get a punch in the nose because they thought you said.
Hush, you're boring.
You couldn't even say,
Pardon?
to check if you heard right because no one understood that word either. It wasn't easy to work together after that, as you can only imagine. People were always quarreling and fighting and getting in dreadful muddles and becoming grumpier and grumpier until at last they were all too cross to keep on building and just had to stop. After that, people scattered all over the world, which is how we ended up with so many different languages to this day. You see, God knew, however high they reached, however hard they tried, people could never get back to heaven by themselves. People didn't need a staircase, they needed a rescuer. Because the way back to heaven wasn't a staircase, it was a person. People could never reach up to heaven, so heaven would have to come down to them. And one day, it would.
So when we think about that story, the men in the story, they were trying to be like God. They were trying to, by their own good works, make it to heaven. Could you ever be good enough to get to heaven? I mean, even if you did one bad thing, say you spent your whole life giving all of your money and all of your time to the poor to help them, but then you did one bad thing, would you still be able to get to heaven? No. Any sin separates us from God. But there's good news. The good news is Jesus came and He paid the price so that we can be with Him, so we could be in relationship with Him. We could never on our own be in relationship with God, but Jesus came so that we can be in relationship with Him. We don't need a staircase. We don't need to try. We just need Jesus. That's all we need. So that's what we're remembering this morning. So I'm going to put in the link some other videos you guys can check out. And we hope you have a wonderful week. I hope you're enjoying the snow as much as me and our kids, well, us and our kids are enjoying the snow. Have a wonderful week. God bless, guys.
Bye, guys.